Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you're having a good night. If you haven't already, please take a second just to
smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell,
just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So let's get straight to it.
The ones that are not living right are gonna go into hiding. I guarantee you that, because they always wanted to spin me as the crazy one when I seen it myself. And I went and standed up for them, hit my reputation. I've already said this, and now everybody's running away. You notice everybody's running away at this point. Every single person is running away. People are stepping down. People are removing themselves from their companies. Come on now, the rapture is coming. Jesus is coming back. The aliens, they already have Project Blue Beam. Project Blue Beam is the fact that aliens are being slowly put out. Okay, I'm speeding this quick because I've already said this on Instagram. You could check out the full live. But at the end of the day, Project Blue Beam is this. Why do you think they slowly started putting out aliens since Roswell? Because you can't handle the truth right away. It would have caused a great mass delusion or whatever, right? Just everybody would be chaotic. So they do slowly, and it's for a reason, because it says in the Bible that there'll be a great delusion cast on earth. What do you think that great delusion is? And you guys can pull up the verses. So the aliens, how do you think they trick everybody? When the rapture comes, beams of light brings up everybody, and everybody comes to Christ and goes with Christ to reign. Everybody left down is going to be casted with a great delusion. What do you think they're going to get tricked by? They're going to get tricked by that it was an alien abduction. Understand, this is happening in real time. You guys need to wake up. Who's involved? The people, the principalities, the powers that...
Like he was going into a deep dive right there. I wonder what's with the ventilator and, Maybe it's oxygen for when he was training. Hopefully he's okay. What do you think it's for? Let me know in the comments down below.
Ryan Garcia appears to be hospitalized as he went live on Instagram. In this live, he was detailing how he was not hooked on drugs and how he was not AI generated with some of the things that he was saying. But this video seemed very alarming as he was hooked to an oxygen machine as he was telling everybody this information. And what makes this part even more scary is last night on his live before it got cut off, he was actually talking about how people were trying to silence him and mitigate him just like they were trying to do to Kanye West. So I'm really curious to know why Ryan Garcia appears to be hospitalized and is on an oxygen machine. And I'm so glad that he's still talking about these things and still saying it's him, and that these allegations against him are not true and all he's trying to do is save children. But at the end of the day, it's also very scary because I will never forget some of the things Kanye said.
It was the scariest moment of my life.
You thought they were going to drug you or kill you?
I thought I was going to get killed. I'm in the hospital. How many pills you think I was given? 7. I went from taking 2 pills to taking 7. I was drugged the fuck out. Did attempt to kill me or kill me like they killed Michael Jackson or JFK, or Aaron, what is the guy's name? Aaron Carter, the guy who wanted to talk to me about the Harley Pasternak situation. If they did do that, they would say, oh, it's Ye's mental health.
So after knowing everything that Kanye went through, I really hope that Ryan Garcia stays safe and he's not going through some of the same things that Kanye West tried to tell us multiple times.
Okay, this I gotta address too because this been going around. Ryan, is it really you or a clone? I'm here to tell you I'm not a clone. Did I go through big spiritual warfare battle? Yes. Did I come out okay? Of course. And I'm perfectly fine. Was it tough? Yes, but because of the power of Christ, I pulled through. And look it. I'm not the only one speaking like this. You see Cat Williams, he's exposing more than me. And everybody's like, yo, we're happy for Cat, but you're not happy for me because your perception of me is just a boxer. I'm supposed to only box, and if I'm not boxing, I need to shut up. It's almost in the same sense when they told LeBron James, shut up and dribble. Correct?
Facts.
Shut up and dribble. Ryan, shut up and box. Why? Why do I need to shut up? If I'm boxing and I'm telling the truth. Just because I'm exposing everybody. Can I find another question, please? I want to say this is more of a statement, and I want to just thank all the people that are getting behind this movement. Mainly because there is so many little kids being hurt. You know, Disneyland has so many disappearances at Disneyland. Can we bring up the statistics for Disneyland, please? How many people disappear in Disneyland?
Okay, so
And I'm just saying.
they say around 100 children per year might get lost, but it gets quickly resolved. So just fact check yourself.
Okay. Well, fact checking about. I read somewhere that there was 2,000 Disneyland every year. Is the Ark of the Covenant real? 100%. And we know exactly where it's at. In the Vatican. Have I been in the Vatican? Yes, sir. Did they let me in the back room? Of course. Can you give me some validation here? Yes, because everybody thinks I'm lying here. Literally, they let me in the back room. Please, can you explain what happened? Okay, so this is how I was
I'm just here to say yes or no.
Okay, this is what happened. This is how I was able to get into the back room. Because everybody always says I'm lying. I was in the Vatican just like anybody else. People started crowding me in the Vatican. One of the security, or I guess one of the higher ups in the Vatican noticed. I said, I need some help. There's a lot of people crowding me. They let me in the back room. They liked my personality, so they start showing me everything. The robes, the
He's not lying. He's
the
not lying.
jewels, the gifts. I mean, I had access to a lot of things. That's because of God. God did, not me. And I'm not like, what am I gonna cap for?
And then address the BB thing, bro.
BB hits up one of his assistants or handlers or whatnot and asks for a meeting. Can you bring it?
All right, so here's the proof. We were in Israel in June, and BB, one of BB's boys, texted me. He said, "Hey, brother, good morning. I spoke with Prime Minister BB Netanyahu. He would like to meet Ryan." Facts right here. Y'all can screenshot it. I don't know if y'all can see it.
Screenshot it.
That's facts. So for all y'all saying he's crazy for that, this actually happened. And guess what he said?
So, that's why, and I said no.
Yes, that's facts.
I said no.
Again, do I have to validate everything this man?
He's like trying to tell the truth. Nah, but there's actually a lot of people here that know the truth. We're trying to tell the people that don't know the truth. That's the thing. A lot of you guys understand this, but there's some people that don't. Like, why is astral projection and lucid dreaming like not a thing? Everybody knows it's real, and everybody has probably done it. I've traveled in my dreams. I've flown. I've done telekinesis, which gave me a weird vibe in the dream. Yeah, I've done a lot of interesting things.
I don't know. Looks like him to me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
So Ryan Garcia went live, and the end of his live was super suspect because the person he was with. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. First, we're going to talk about this guy right here is someone who actually knows Ryan. He knows personal things about his life. I'm not sure the relationship, but I'm going to go ahead and connect the dots that he's saying, but trying to say subtly, and then we'll talk about the live.
A lot of people have been asking me about Ryan, and I'm going to inform everybody about what's really going on.
Alright, so quickly, the last few years of Ryan's life in a nutshell. Basically, he was escalated in his career without having to do anything devious, right? Eventually, some people came to him and he found out what was actually going on behind the scenes, the things he's been speaking about, the things we're all aware of, right? When he found that out, he went and got baptized and he got saved. Sometime between the salvation and now, he turned to the dark side. He made the covenant he was not supposed to make. He did the things he was not supposed to do. And he was taken to a location that he was speaking about, and he saw some terrible things. And after that happened, something snapped in Ryan's brain. I can relate. It was 13 years ago when I first saw what they did behind closed doors, and I didn't sleep for a week. Anyways, he got really mad, started calling him out. There's a whole bunch of controversy, because before he even came out saying those things, people were saying, like, a video came out saying that he had died. So then he seemingly comes back from the grave, says all this crazy stuff, then all of a sudden is like, I'm not going to speak any more about it. Now people say this video is AI because there's no tattoo on the hand. Now remember, this could be mirrored, and I also feel like I see a tattoo on this hand right here. Besides that, if it's AI, why are all these major platforms and media outlets sharing it? That's even weirder. Why would they need AI to talk for him? Now remember what I told you earlier, he had signed the covenant with darkness. What happens when you break that covenant and expose it? they're coming after you and they're going to deal with you. And they may even make you mock Christ, the crown of thorns. And that brings me to this live. The whole time, this guy beside him was trying to keep his mouth from opening about certain topics besides boxing. The whole comment section were asking Ryan, what was he talking about? Can he prove it? All the stuff. And every single time, this guy would say, oh, there's no questions about boxing. And he would literally cut him off. And when the controller that was put in charge could not control anymore, he literally turned off the live.
They don't know half the things you've been through, bro. Keep it like that.
I can't.
Alright, looks like we're not getting any questions, bro.
Wait, time travel.
No, hey, no, we can out.
Bro.
Hey, we out, y'all. I don't know how to end this live.
Bro.
How do we end the live?
Bro, for real.
Oh, we're out.
Bro, we have proof.
They don't want to give any questions.
So my final thoughts are, is this Ryan? If so, what was the need for AI? And if so, what was the point of the video coming out saying that he had passed away? So yeah, this whole thing does not add up. What do y'all think? Let me know below. Top comment Wednesday, inspired by the King hoodie.
I always know I'm onto something when I try to make a video and it makes it impossible for me to do. The devil clearly knows I'm onto something because it's making it very hard for me to share. First things first, guys, though, this is purely for entertainment purposes only, guys. You know, we're just goofing around, new boo goofing, having fun. Guys, what if that person who exposed that place, you know, that one, the boxer, yesterday, actually helped biblical prophecy unfold? Or at least helped us discern what this biblical prophecy is all about? One of the biggest quoted of the biblical prophecies in the Bible, the abomination of desolation. We all know what abomination means, but desolation. Let me get to this. A few months ago, I decided to go down a deep dive about spells and words and how you have to be very careful with what you say because your words have powers, hence spelling. We spell words. Did you know Balenciaga means ball is king? And Nickelodeon means I don't care about God? Anyways, as I was going through this, I was in a word translator and trying different words and seeing what they would come up with. And I love how God works. I love how God works. The Holy Spirit never lets you down. I put in Gucci to see, and it came out, there is an owl. Okay, now I'm intrigued. There is an owl. Now, owls have a very mystical meaning. I'm not a fan of owls. They're never been my favorites. Even though Andrea got me my hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil owls here as a joke, because owls just never been my thing. Anyways, guys, that night, I ended up in a deep dive that took me to a place I had never heard of this before, and this was months ago. I actually reached out to my friends Tara and Ryan that night, because I was like, whoa. And I said, have you guys ever heard of this place? This Grove place? And she immediately responded, oh yeah. So I thought, okay, cool. This isn't something new. People know about this. I'm just late to the game. I don't even remember if I made the video or not, but I do remember this. I'm old. I go to bed pretty early. Not that night. Guys, it has been years since I have done a deep dive that's kept me up until 3 a.m. And that is exactly what this deep dive did to me that night. I couldn't go to bed. The things I was finding, the things I was reading, the things I was learning, it physically made me ill. Our world is run by some very powerful, elite, and sinister people who do very, very bad things. And we also know that they do very bad things to very sweet people. And that is all I'm going to say. And I'm going to tell you right now, that man is not lying. He is not lying. I have discernment of spirit, and I'm going to tell you right now, no man with children and a family is going to make up lies like that knows it is a very dangerous thing to say. Where him and his family could very well. He is not lying. Yesterday when the news broke, I almost fell to my knees, and it made me realize there is no such thing as coincidences, guys. I tell you that all the time. Everything happens for a reason. And this is the most perfect example. There is a reason I started to look at words, Balenciaga, and it took me to Gucci, that took me to there is an owl, that took me to this massive owl statue in the middle of nowhere, and the things that happen around it, and the people that are there. There's a very good reason, another very good reason why all of this lined up over the past few months. I have been extremely drawn to Revelation, the letters to the churches recently. Revelation 2:20. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that a woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. To eat things. Y'all, we have not sacrificed things to God or gods in a very, very long time. At least not you and I. There's a whole sinister world out there that we are so separate from, praise God, that is about to come to light. But Auntie, what does this have to do with the abomination of desolation? We know what happens in this world. We've all woken up and we know. And my friends, that is exactly what this is, an abomination. Sacrificing to gods during rituals. Baphomet, Baal, a huge owl. It is the stuff that horror movies are made of. And my friends, it is the absolute definition of abomination. But desolation. That night during my deep dive, I stumbled upon something and it didn't even dawn on me. Not until yesterday when I was going back through my phone from the months ago when I did the deep dive. And just like always, God's timing is always right. There was a reason I didn't think, oh, okay. And to be honest, that reason was this place has never been outed before or exposed. Not like it just was. Do you guys know the Bible references an owl in it, but not often. And do you know what an owl symbolizes biblically? No? Let me show you. Apart from references to owls as unclean birds, the Bible features owls figuratively to symbolize tormenting, loneliness, and desolation. The abomination of desolation. To the owl. In front of the owl. My friends, I'm pretty sure that's what the abomination of desolation means. The Daniel 9 prophecy reads, Daniel 9:25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall have 70 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troubled times. 26. And after 62 weeks shall the Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the world desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Doesn't that seem a little bit too obvious, too easy? When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, when we should see the truth about what's going on, these rituals in front of an owl, stand in the holy place. You guys, there is a comma after desolation. When therefore ye shall see the abomination of desolation. What is the rituals at the owl spoken of by Daniel the prophet, comma, stand in the holy place. Whomso readeth, let him understand. It literally says it right there. It is a hint, a riddle, a clue. When you are aware of what is going on in these rituals before the desolation, the owl, it is time to stand in the holy place. Not when you see the abomination of desolation standing in the holy place, know that it's time. Or if that's not correct, let's go another direction with this. When you see the abomination of desolation, what's going on? This huge ring, money-making ring that we're all very aware of now since that movie came out last summer. And what happens in front of this owl, now we all understand. Perhaps if it does mean something or somebody standing in the holy place where the temple will be built, maybe now we have a better clue as to what abomination of desolation means and who or what to be watching stand in the holy place. But as I read that just now, I feel like as soon as you see the abomination of desolation, as soon as you are aware of the rituals and the things that are happening in front of that owl, stand in the holy place, be ready. And my holy place, it isn't a church, it isn't a synagogue, it is with the Holy Spirit. It is me with my Father, armored up, flooded with the Holy Spirit in prayer. My prayer space. My holy place is with the Lord. Did Ryan just help us discover and understand now what the abomination of desolation means? These rituals and sacrifices to the owl that stands for literally in the Bible for desolation. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel her. Sometimes you just gotta take that deep dive late at night. But yeah, she came across a lot of things. Very interesting stuff. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Holy smokes, you're not going to believe this, but there is, in fact, a Diddy and Michael Jackson connection. Yes, the lawsuit that we have been covering and following, so much being revealed. You're not going to believe that somehow it is connected to Michael Jackson and his death. And I gotta be honest, I'm kind of terrified. I think this is gonna be the last day that I cover it because we're getting close to something that is very dangerous. All right, so I wasn't kidding at the top, guys. I am probably not going to cover this anymore because it is definitely getting a bit terrifying. Obviously, We covered this. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch. I believe it was Monday's episode. But yes, the Diddy lawsuit is absolutely crazy. Full stop. What if I told you guys that it is about to get even crazier, that there is directly a link to Michael Jackson's death? I want to be clear that when everything was going on with Michael Jackson, the lawsuits, his death, I thought that we were in full conspiracy theory territory when people were saying that Michael Jackson was killed. I actually know a lot of people that are in the industry who believe that Michael Jackson was killed, and I just thought it just sounds too whacked out.
Rest in peace to MJ. Yo. But when Candace Owens stops talking about something, you know it's bad.
All right, so within those docs, and this is where it gets relevant, there is one man that is named as being the person that can do the cleanups, right? This is the guy that you are supposed to call if you get into any sort of a scenario. So in these docs, it says Mr. Combs instructs his staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad, that is Fahim Muhammad, if they are ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. And upon information and belief, this is regarding the shooting that took place at Chalice Recording Studios. Again, he is alleging that Diddy and his son shot someone. And after that shooting, the documents say explicitly that Mr. Muhammad spoke with the LAPD after G was shot at the recording studio. The LAPD was in the recording studio and witnessed the blood in the restroom, and they went with the bogus claim that the shooting of G occurred outside of the studio. This was all thanks to Mr. Muhammad's connections within law enforcement. So again, what we are seeing there is that you call this guy and this guy will make it disappear, and the media will report whatever the incident is in a capacity that covers up the crime, allegedly. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The cleanup guy, Mr. Fahim Muhammad, was also on the scene when Michael Jackson died.
Whoa, and that's what I call a coincidence. But how'd she find that out? How's she getting all these documents? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. This is getting bugged out.
Alrighty, get in here. Let's talk about it since it's been going around on TikTok. Let's just talk. Let's just talk about it. So you see the headliner to the article, Neverland Ranch investigators discovered corpse of real Michael Jackson in 2005. Okay? I think the man died in, don't quote me on it. What year did he die? 2009, possibly, maybe 12, something like that. But I want to show that all of this is literally a simulation and that the celebrities are scripted in actors and their lives literally are not real, and that this shit is just written in play, and that we are falling for it, and that the simulation is breaking and the truth is being revealed, and gaps and time jumps and all that is coming into play, because how the F did we miss this in 2005? It says during a search for evidence at Neverland Valley Ranch, investors discovered a corpse that had been identified as that of Michael Jackson. Santa Barbara police officers announced. Okay, so they claim that they found his real body. Now I want y'all to see that they are all in cohorts with each other, because there's no way in hell Michael Jackson's bodyguard, the man who found him unalived, is the same man who has been working in this hellish of a Jeffrey Epstein type thing with P. Diddy. And I'm going to pull up the documents that show that, yes, that is the same person. I'm going to show y'all a couple pictures and all that. So they're basically saying, like I said, they basically saying that they found his body. But I want to show y'all. Now, I did a video on my channel about a man. It's been floating around. The video has been floating around TikTok about the dude who said Michael died in 79 and they cloned him out because they couldn't risk losing another big celebrity after Elvis. Okay? It says right here, look, Michael Jackson dead from what we could tell between 18 and 20 years ago. Forensic investigator Tim said, we are not certain at this time, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but also right here, the large corpse wore the remains of a red zipper cover leather jacket and a single glove. Now who else wears that? And then we positively identified the body as Michael Jackson by his dental records and DNA. Okay? They said we have no idea who has been standing in for him. And that disturbing figure claiming to be Michael Jackson was a fake. Okay? They're saying the body was fake and they have no idea who's standing in the trial for him. So I don't know how we missed this article back in 2005. I have no idea. But I do want to say that it just shows you how much we are under mind control and how much we are jumping timelines, because there's no way in hell this comes back up while Diddy's trial is going on. That man, those who have read the documents and seen it know that this is one of the most craziest lawsuits we have ever seen.
If they did attempt to kill me or kill me like they killed Michael Jackson or JFK, or Aaron, what's the guy's name? Aaron Carter, the guy who wanted to talk to me about the Harley Pasternak situation. If they did do that, they would say, oh, it's Ye's mental health. So
I own half of Sony's publishing and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me. And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
So it looks like Kanye West claims that Michael Jackson was eliminated by industry higher-ups are back in the spotlight, and it's all thanks to this new lawsuit that was filed against Diddy. Now, if you're wondering what Diddy has to do with Michael Jackson's death, well, prepare to have your mind blown because the details are absolutely insane. So you remember how Kanye revealed his former personal trainer Harley Pasternak tried to institutionalize him, and then everyone claimed Kanye was crazy? Well, what's actually crazy is that Harley was revealed to have previously worked as an intelligence agent for the Canadian military, and it now turns out Michael Jackson might have had his own Harley Pasternak. It's this guy, Fahim Mohammed, who also happens to be Diddy's chief of security. Fahim was mentioned several times in the latest lawsuit against Diddy filed by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. And according to Lil Rod, Fahim acted as the connection between Diddy and law enforcement, ensuring that Diddy could run what Lil Rod called criminal enterprise without any interference from the authorities. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's much more to unpack here. From Fahim's alleged ties to government intelligence agencies, Michael Jackson's war against Sony Music, Diddy's connection to Sony Music higher-ups, and much, much more. So let's get into the details.
I refuse to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, oh, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look,
they would have Michael Jackson.
Or worse, yeah.
Okay, so let's first talk about all the suspicious details about MJ's death and his highly publicized feud with Sony Music. On June 24th, 2009, the night before Michael Jackson died, his personal physician, Dr. Murray, gave him a mix of meds to help him sleep. However, nothing was working, so in the morning hours of June 25th, Dr. Murray decided to administer a propofol injection. This seemingly did the trick, and Dr. Murray left Michael sleeping to use the bathroom. However, when he returned minutes later, he found Michael unresponsive with a weak pulse. Dr. Murray performed CPR for about 10 minutes and administered something to counteract the sedative OD. But surprisingly, a 911 call wasn't made until 12:21 p.m., almost an hour and a half after the initial discovery. Dr. Murray quickly arrived. They performed CPR for another 42 minutes and then rushed Michael to the Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center. But sadly, nothing could be done, and at 2:26 p.m. on June 25th, 2009, the king of pop was declared dead. And once the initial shock wore off, the internet became a breeding ground for various theories, with fans questioning the official story. According to the autopsy report, Michael's cause of death was propofol intoxication, and it was officially ruled as a homicide. Dr. Murray quickly became the prime suspect, especially when it was revealed that he had used an unconventional CPR method on Michael. The LAPD and the DEA launched an investigation, but MJ's fans speculated that the police might be trying to hide something. Reports in the media suggested that the LAPD didn't properly seal Michael's house to prevent mishandling of evidence, a claim later denied by the LAPD. Dr. Murray was eventually charged with involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to 4 years in prison. However, MJ's fans weren't satisfied because they believed Murray was just a scapegoat in a larger scheme. You see, Dr. Murray initially joined Michael's team in May 2009 through AEG Live, the promoter for MJ's final tour. Although AEG Live claimed that Michael personally wanted...
Yeah, this rabbit hole right here just spun out of nowhere. I would have never imagined any connection. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Michael Jackson conspiracy theories are back on the table. P. Diddy's sexual blackmail ring puts Michael Jackson's whole life story in a whole new light. So this new lawsuit just came out that shows tons of evidence that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, has been running a sexual blackmail operation very much like Jeffrey Epstein, but in the rap and music industry for basically 30 years. And in that lawsuit, we learned that his head of security while he's running this sexual blackmail ring is this guy named Fahim Muhammad, who before working for Diddy was the head of security for Michael Jackson when he was only 21. And he was one of the first people on the scene when Michael Jackson died. And before we go to Michael Jackson, the most important part of the Diddy case to bring across is the fact that the record executives at the very top knew what P. Diddy was doing. They were attending the parties with underage girls where they were spiking drinks. They were deeply involved in Diddy's personal life, and all evidence points to them supporting his operation, or at the very least turning a blind eye to it. So, let's revisit Michael Jackson, the king of pop, knowing what we know today. Starting in 1993, Michael Jackson was repeatedly accused of inappropriate things with children. And most of us eventually took that story and were like, okay, that's messed up. Michael Jackson's a bad dude. Without necessarily taking into account the way that the press had been smearing him in really messed up ways for years. And then a bunch of documentaries were made before and after his death, smearing him left, right, and center. But the Diddy lawsuit directly points out and reminds us that the people that own the record companies also own the media publishing businesses that can print the tabloids. They have close relationships with the people that own the newspapers and the magazines that print these stories, that make these movies. That's how they offer record contracts to people and then get them to the top of the charts right away. That is, if they play ball, if you know what I mean. But when you actually look into the evidence, the FBI were investigating Jackson for 10 full years, and they presented no evidence of criminal conduct on Jackson's part. The files have been declassified and you can view them yourself. They include a raid of his home where they confiscated all electronics. This is their ID number that you'll see. We're talking computers, hard drives, cell phones, where they say the amount of gigabytes. And then following are pages like this where they have the ID of the different devices and they all say nothing. Literally. They all say this. They found nothing. But that didn't stop the press from running made-up stories about how secret FBI files revealed that Jackson had paid millions in hush money to dozens of boys he had abused, despite the FBI files directly negating that statement. And to be clear, Jackson was a weird dude. He grew up in one of the most effed up environments imaginable. He had basically no father figure and was kept from his mother. And the press has repeatedly tried to make him seem even weirder to us. But sometimes they publish articles trying to make him seem like Wacko Jacko, which is super racist. We'll get into that another time. But they actually wind up just showing his humanity, like how he's shocked by the real world because he doesn't understand it. In this article, they explain how when he first saw a homeless person, he was like, "What's that?" And his driver had to explain to him what a homeless person was. And he was like, holy shit. And he made them stop the car and he watched for a while, then gave the woman $300. And then when they saw that a man that she was with was about to try to take it from her, Jackson went and gave him $300. And she was crying and said that he'd saved her. And then he spent the rest of that day driving around, giving out $100 bills to homeless people, saying how it's just amazing that the world could be so messed up. He sang about this kind of stuff all the time. In that same article, they also confirmed that he likes women, not underage ones, and he had a secret girlfriend that he was seeing on the side, but keeping it away from his kids, and would always be back before they woke up. So they branded him as Wacko Jacko early on and just like totally annihilated his public image. But what you might not have known is that that is a direct reference to a monkey, a fighting monkey from an old, who was like a cartoon character, basically. His name was Jacko Macaco. And for the longest time, you could actually buy Jacko monkey dolls. And we could talk about how all the boys that accused him of things actually were in the middle of launching really successful entertainment industry careers when they made those allegations about what had allegedly happened to them when they were tiny children, despite having previously gone on their stand and under oath saying that nothing had ever happened. But that would just be a waste of time.
So for the past couple of days, you guys, India has been getting bombarded with tornadoes of mosquitoes. Y'all, check this out. These are all mosquitoes. Those are all mosquitoes. There's like twisters and twisters of mosquitoes, y'all. Check this out. This is crazy. You can see them in the lens. So you guys know how it's been flooding and raining everywhere. You guys know that, right? So India has been one of the spots where it has been flooding a lot. So because of this, there has been a lot of water, excess of water, and this is causing mosquitoes. They call them the netizens. The netizens, it's telling them to use flamethrowers because there's so much out there, y'all. Look at that, y'all. Jesus. Now, what would you do if you saw tornadoes of mosquitoes like this, y'all? How would you escape that? That's crazy. Like, Where is it all coming from? Look at that. You can even ride your motorcycle or moped in peace without being, but wow. Yo, that's just insane, y'all. This area has resulted in rising numbers of mosquitoes. But I'm just, look at that, y'all. It looks like DNA strands. Right? But where are they all coming from? This is where I want to know. Where are they coming from? That water's not joking, y'all. That water that was frozen, that's making its way onto the earth now, that's being removed from the Arctic, right? Making its way onto the earth now. It's not playing. And now India is being bombarded with mosquitoes with the potential of bringing diseases from these mosquitoes, y'all. Y'all know what mosquitoes do. But yeah, but this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting time. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift, y'all. Peace in.
Their urge to use a flamethrower. Yo, this sounds biblical. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Nope, this was never supposed to happen, as this deadly biblical warning is happening in real life in less than 1 month, and life on this planet may no longer exist. People were terrified after scientists reported a haunting celestial biblical event that will hit Earth in just a few weeks, and our Earth could face a supernatural divine ending, as we are seeing signs of this starting with no way to stop it. On April 8, 2024, a solar eclipse will shroud the US into darkness, and scientists were shocked as it's reported to be passing through biblical towns like Jonah, Texas, the same name that the Bible mentions in Matthew chapter 12, saying there will not be signs of the end except for the prophet of Jonah. The eclipse will also engulf several other biblical towns into complete darkness, like Rapture, Indiana, and right through the exact location of where Noah's Ark was rebuilt, Williams, Kentucky. The Bible in Luke 17 also warns us of a great flood ending all of us, with our signs being in an eclipse with our stars. And April's eclipse is rumored to be passing through our constellation Cetus, representing our ocean.
I didn't even know there was a constellation named Cetus. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Y'all are gonna want to hear what the Pentagon just said and released about UFOs. But first, this was just caught in New Mexico. You can see a jet trailing these 3 UFOs. I'm gonna let you hear the volume with it.
Dalton. Dalton, are you seeing this? Bro, my heart just sank, dude.
Look how good this footage is. My goodness. Hear that hum? Before I hear Project BB in the comments, this technology has been around for thousands of years and was reverse engineered decades ago. And I myself have been followed by these things. So do you think that was Project BB too? Anyways, Pentagon UFO report finds no alien evidence. If the US won't fess up, other nations will, experts warn. I want y'all to notice how they say there's no evidence after years of putting evidence on the news. And all the classified Congress meetings that people were not allowed to see on this topic. And while they say they don't exist, a guy caught them on live television.
Okay, left to right. There's a UFO that flies across the screen here. I'm gonna see if this picks her up on camera.
This is crazy.
I don't know, man. Those are UFOs. They were going mighty slow. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
So look at what they're selling you guys now, y'all. Look at what they're selling you guys now. Y'all know what this is? They are putting it right in your face. Check it out, y'all. Check this out.
Session. What you're about to see here is a symbiote in a bottle. It looks a little bit like witchcraft, and what it is a steam toy. It's the crossroads of science and art, and so you're seeing something that is driven by magnetics, but also represents those concepts of magnetism in an artistic and playful form. This is the perfect way to introduce your child, boy or girl, to the idea of science being fun. And it really is. It reminds me of Venom in a Bottle. It does all kinds of bizarre things. And if you have magnets at home, you're just going to find yourself messing with this bottle all the time.
Y'all see that? Literally telling you truth in plain sight, y'all. Truth in plain sight. You heard that, right? He asked him, how does he know that? And they said, because they are in his head. Now let's use gematria and break down what this is all about. And if you're not familiar with gematria is simply assigning letters to numbers. So Venom was the one that says that. Now Venom gives you 27. Now Venom represents the Kundalini energy. And what the Kundalini energy is simply this black goo that sits at the bottom of your spine that climbs to the 33rd vertebrae, and it secretes this black goo into your third eye and activates your third eye, or called AI. And this is also the yin and yang, the balance of the feminine and masculine energy. So this black goo is being activated by the magnetic field through the ley lines right now. And this is why a lot of us are feeling some type of ways, like we feel like we're being pulled in all types of dimensions, right? Because the black goo within us is being activated, our dormant memories, dormant DNA, our junk DNA. And this is why Venom said he is in his head and he knows everything, because this is everything. This is our subconscious mind coming to the surface now. And this is why Venom is so dark. Well, and he represents like the black and white sun, the yin and yang.
There's 33 vertebrae in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus. So this substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is Christ coming down into human form. Yes. And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice, or this whatever substance, actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney.
And that's why we be telling you go out and get the sun, because that's what's activating the black and the white sun, the yin and the yang, or Venom. This type of activation will make us invincible. This is what's going on right now. This is why it's an all-out war in the skies. You know, that's why it's gray every single day, y'all, because they're afraid of us activating. This is the time right now. I mean, you don't find that suspicious they're having people stay home for a solar eclipse? When has that ever happened, y'all? But yeah, this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Please like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift, y'all. Peace in.
So Venom's real? When did Black Goo Symbiote hit the market? I feel like I'm living in a comic book. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Adam and Eve weren't the only two people on Earth. When they got here, there were already probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people already here. And then what happens is, if you take two people and you think you're going to get 8 billion out of two, it doesn't work. What happens if you start having with your sister, and then she gives birth, and then those babies have to each other? You're going to have genetic mutations, and by the third generation, they won't even be able to, they'll be dead, they'll be stillbirths. Not enough genetic diversity. So they created Eden, E-D-I-N, and Enki, he was known as Satan, the Lord of Eden in the text, and he would watch over this Eden. He had guards with weapons to guard why would you have to guard this place with weapons? And he had people in there, and he was having mating times. They have specific times that they can mate and couldn't mate, and it was like breeding people, and they were working on perfecting it. When Enki came and told Adam and Eve who they were and how powerful they were, and that they were the same level as them, that's when they realized that they weren't dumb. That was the apple. The apple was knowledge. And then Lil comes back and gets pissed off because he discovered what happens, and then he starts calling his brother the devil. You don't listen to him, he's evil.
You have 7 chakras and you have 7 vowels. You have A, E, I, U. So when you say them all together, it's Aum. That's how you get them all together. It's doing that over and over because your mind's not thinking about anything else. See, one thing about meditation, it's the same as machination. It's machine work. You call it premeditated murder because it's pre-thinking. You think about it before you do it. So meditation is dealing with thinking. To truly meditate is called transcending or transcendental meditation. It has nothing to do with thought. So what we call meditation today, it's wrong. We should be transcendental meditating. See, meditation just brings your mind away from the body But when you transcend, you bring the soul away from the mind and the body. A lot of people identify as their body. Oh, I'm John Doe or Jane Doe. But that's your straw man. Like when you sign a contract, it says, I, divine being. Divine being is just my little stage name, but who I am is the I. I am divine being. The soul of me is identifying as the letters divine being. So what I'm saying is, when you meditate, you turn your mind away from your body and you identify as the mind. But when you transcend, you identify as the soul and you're not your mind or your body. That's the steps from 3D body to 4D mind. You want to identify as the 5D soul because that's what you are. Get rid of thought and eliminate all thought and you come to a sense of knowing. That's how people get downloads because it's not anything to think about. You just know it right away. How do you get to a sense of knowing? By getting rid of all thought. And it doesn't mean you kill the mind. You transcend the mind. You go beyond the mind. Aum is just a way for you to clear the thoughts away. You're trying to erase all this bullshit because it's just temporary anyway. Like your family, I'm not saying don't be nice and love your family. Be nice and loving, but it's all temporary.
Understood.
Whatever that boxer seen scared the shit out of him. If you want to know if someone is really telling the truth when they're telling the story, look in their eyes. I watched that man interview. I looked in his eyes and I seen a man that was afraid for his life. Once you understand how these rituals actually work, when they bring you in these so-called open door and closed doors, secret doors, they start showing you shit your mind cannot handle. That's why they say in spirituality, open your third eye. Because if you don't open your third eye, you're going to start seeing these demons. You're going to start seeing witchcraft. You're going to start seeing all kind of aliens. This shit is not fake. I know a lot of people say it's fake, but once you go in Hollywood or behind these curtains, you start to see certain things in these rituals. We've been hearing about this for a long time. So-called whistleblowers that blow the whistle that try to tell people, yo, these people are doing rituals. These celebrities are clones. They're not real people. They're demons. We hear about this all the time, but we don't pay it no mind. But when someone come out and tell the people and have actual footage of what's really going on, people don't know how to handle it. But whatever this man seen, it scared the shit out of him. All you gotta do is look in his eyes. But not only that, the people that control Hollywood is actually scared right now too. Because if you see people making videos speaking about this topic, they are taking the videos down. So this man is scared. He trying to get his soul back. This is the big twist. Once they get you in Hollywood, they give you all this gold, all this money. But they don't tell you, once you sign these contracts, you sell your soul. And all the money they give you, you cannot use this money to get your soul back. So these rituals are real. These rituals been happening for years. It goes back to witchcraft. Hollywood is controlled by witchcraft. And if you are not ready to see these demons and these witches and these don't sign these contracts.
Yeah, yo, prayers for Ryan Garcia. Only can imagine what he's going through right now. I agree. Man, probably scared. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Hey ladies, I want you to listen to this video. This is why it's very important to be mindful what we put on top of our skin, especially while you are pregnant. And fellas, I want you to listen up too because this is our children. Check this out.
I looked this up to make sure this was accurate because I didn't believe it at first that there's only 11, and it is true. There's only 11 chemicals that are banned from our cosmetics or our body lotions or whatever we're putting on our skin. The thing that really bothers me is that our babies are not being born pure. I found this study to show you. This is by the Environmental Working Group, and what they found was they took 10 babies and tested their cord blood. They found 287 chemicals in their cord blood of these 10 babies. Stain and oil repellents used in fast food packaging, clothing and textiles, including Teflon, in the baby's cord blood. They found ingredients such as waste from burning coal, gasoline, and garbage, pesticides, consumer product ingredients in the cord blood. They know that 180 cause cancer in humans or animals, 217 are toxic to the brain and nervous system, and 208 cause birth defects or abnormal development in animal tests. So this is pretty outstanding. There's the link if you guys want to look it up. The other crazy part is the parent hadn't been exposed to any out-of-range chemicals before. They weren't working in factories or exposed to high levels of toxins. They're just regular people. So our babies are born highly toxic, and it's just awful to me. It breaks my heart. So why is this happening? Because the FDA sold out is basically what it comes down to. 99% of food chemicals chemicals introduced since 2000 were green-lighted for use by food and chemical companies rather than properly reviewed by the Food and Drug Administration. So here's the big kicker. These substances end up in what we eat thanks to a legal loophole that allows food to be classified as generally recognized as safe. These companies are basically just making the laws for themselves. How is this possible? Well, you got lobbyists. It's all money. It all goes back to money.
Gotta be mindful what we put on our body, because there's a whole bunch of natural products out there that we can put on our body that won't even actually do that type of stuff. And then you have companies like Bath & Body Works that we entrust in order to make good products for us without putting harmful chemicals in it, and then we find out that they really do this. So yeah, this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. But did you guys know that? Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift, y'all. Peace out.
No, I didn't have a clue. 287 different chemicals. Somebody sold out.
Parasomnias are sleep abnormalities that occur when someone is slightly awake during transitions from sleep to wakefulness or wakefulness to sleep, and sometimes just during sleep. Parasomnias include sleep paralysis, night terrors, nightmares, confusional arousal, alien abduction, sleepwalking and sleep talking, nocturnal epilepsy, hypnic jerk, and exploding head syndrome, which is hearing and seeing loud bolts or bangs in the head. Parasomnias cover all kinds of visual and auditory hallucinations and a wide variety of muddled body sensations. Parasomnias include many different odd behaviors or events at night, from serious medical issues to simply accidental awakenings during transition periods. They are, in effect, glitches in the brain during, before, or after falling asleep, either through injury, illness, training, or overusing psychedelics. The shamans, priests, witches, mystics, and prophets of the world glitch out their brains to remain in parasomnias throughout the day-to-day wakefulness. With technology, there is a term called jailbreaking, where exploits are used to remove manufacturer restrictions, allowing one to run their device in an administrator mode. Of course, there can be consequences to this, but this jailbreaking or glitching of the brain allows someone to be in the unconscious, spirit, dream realm and normal waking reality at the same time. They exist between worlds. They have entered into the twilight zone state. This gives you extrasensory perceptions, or a sort of meta-awareness. It allows for new connections and creative and imaginative thinking, as distortions of everyday phenomena create for surreal, abstract, and harrowing experiences. The average person has probably felt glimpses of this state from pulling an all-nighter, for example, where there is a sluggish trippiness and a reduced experience of sensory boundaries that our brains normally keep divided. The twilight zone state is a synesthesia of the brain's perceptions of reality and connection routes. Another example is Da Vinci, who sustained this twilight zone state through an intense schedule of sleeping 20 minutes out of every 4 hours all day and night, for a total of about 2 hours of sleep per day. His mastery of art and science was far ahead of his time. The twilight zone state is perhaps best described as microgian, or long shadow, encountering the shadowy sides of nature in a direct and heightened form, enough to give them shape and personality. Where things get interesting is the possibility that the shades and penumbral images seen in the twilight zone are archetypal interpretations of mundane phenomena. Consider the parasomnia alien abduction experience. Suppose it is an unconscious projection of some kind of enteric infection, the knowledge or warning of which is seen entoptically during sleep, or maybe a sleep paralysis demon being some kind of expression or interpretation of a mycotoxin. Urban legends and folk creatures are mainly only ever reported at night. Parasomnias can naturally happen to anyone, so it is a common experience of a strange anomaly that becomes psychosocially embedded and shared by a culture. Therefore, the shaman or mystic or witch in the twilight zone state may identify spirits, deities, or other paranormal entities that are interpreted by the brain through archetypal caricatures. In other words, that synesthesia of brain pathways helps to identify a hidden world that is naturally sensed and encountered, that hidden world being the microscopic. There are scents, pheromones, and all kinds of other signatures of microbial activity that pass the conscious mind unnoticed, imbuing subtle influences or communication at times. This glitching or jailbreaking of the brain may unlock interpretations of microbial activity from one sense, such as smell, into an auditory or visual experience. Again, the archetypal image providing hints as to the identity of that encounter. It's why those people become healers, spiritual guides, visionary thinkers, mediums, and diviners. Sensing and communing with the masters of game on administrator mode gives them the power to direct, to control, or to banish the microbes in a person or environment. To an unprepared initiate or unknowingly entering into the Twilight Zone, it can become full of stalking dangers and paranoid shadows. The line between shaman and madman in this meta-awareness of the microscopic of the Twilight Zone state is not a distinct one. Caution is advised, as the Twilight Zone has no guarantees. Leaving it may not always be possible, and this does little justice in describing the true, bizarre unreality, the synchronicity ghosts, and the glitched out filters our body so carefully designed as protection from the realities of the dreaming. Knowledge and power may lurk in the Twilight Zone, but you never tread there alone, as too, lurking, are the fractal beings of the microscopic.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. And I'd like to give a special shout out to ER for becoming the channel's newest member. I want to give another special shout out to Berserk 997. I appreciate y'all support. Peace and blessings. If you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.